I would just like to say welcome to you all on the land that we live, breathe and walk on. I also acknowledge the elders past and present and the elders of today, male and female.
We are Cathy Productions, a local independent film company that has been operating in the region of Indi for the last 6 years. Our feature films have utilised over 100 different volunteers from the community.
But something has become increasingly clear to us over the course of working on these projects, and that is that rural areas continue to lose a lot of their local talent to the big cities.
Our vision for Indi is a simple one. We see a place where someone can grow up knowing that if they work hard at their craft and stay committed to their passions, that they can lead a rewarding and fulfilling career locally. And this isn't just a pipe dream. This can happen. We've seen signs of improvement. We've been able to survive as a business for the last 6 years. We've been able to pay our bills and fund our art. We've also been able to provide paid work to some arts professionals locally.
The responsibility is on local people to continue producing work of a high quality, to prove to the world that the people of Indi are just as good, just as talented and just as worthwhile as those from the big cities.
So here's to people pursuing their passions. Here's to their governments and their communities supporting them. And here's to their pursuits enriching the lives of others.
And in April we attended a regional conference, and there we were able to connect with other student leaders and share our experience, exchange ideas on how to address common issues. We think that strengthening these connections between rural schools could drive collective progress, sharing ideas and comparing leadership structures to inspire change. With current technologies, we think that we have the capacity to continue to foster these connections that can be created so that we can break down the barrier of rural isolation and work together to achieve these common goals.
Being involved in the kitchen table conversation has enhanced our understanding of the perspectives of our peers, as well as the issues which affect or concern our school community.
It has raised our attention to the fact that young people can be disengaged with politics, but demonstrate a strong understanding of local news and community issues.
We envisage a strong rural network which will enhance the capacity for young leaders to connect, work together and share ideas.
Establishing this network would empower young leaders to make a difference in their own community and collectively create change on an even larger scale. Thank you.
As Cathy mentioned, my name is Mark, I'm a farmer and I grew up in Benalla. We are privileged that we are in such an area as Indi, a diverse space that is has both amazing produce and stunning destinations all year round. This year will be the third year we have formally run the Happy Wanderer Festival, and it's an amazing opportunity to share the magic that is the Indi region. One of my roles as the festival director is to attend events both far and wide, looking for potential acts to play the festival. And just Friday night gone, I found myself at the Drunken Poet in North Melbourne, and there I met a true rock star. I was very excited. Well, he's a bit of a rock star in my world. It was actually Costa from Gardening Australia. He just returned from a trip to Broome, where he relayed a story to me of watching the Aboriginal elders there performing their traditional dance. And the thing that really stuck with him was that the youngest generation was right there next to the elders, mimicking their very moves. If there's one thing the Indi community can do, that would be to provide a positive, constructive and influential legacy for future generations to not only continue but evolve. Thank you.
So while Indi is a fantastic place to live, personally in the future I'd like to see it as a place with a better and more equal access to further education. Currently I'm in Year 12, and the ability to access further education is becoming an increasingly pressing issue for me and for many young people in similar situations. Another big issue in our area, which I believe is facing more people, is the issue of transport. Living in a rural area, many people live outside of town limits and might find it difficult to get around. This is a big issue for those who are unable to drive, either because they haven't got their licence or for any number of other reasons. However, globally, the world has seen an increase in services, with public transport becoming cheaper and more accessible, and services like Uber filling the gaps in the market. However, here in Indi, our public transport is severely lacking. Although we have a low population, if we could find an affordable, accessible means of transport, I'm sure there will be a demand. And realistically, we don't have to create a whole new set of infrastructure. Europe has seen a great increase in ride-sharing websites, which allow people to travel with others and utilise often wasted car space. I hope that in the future, Indi will have better access to services and be able to tackle the issues of inequality which face many rural students as they seek further education. Thank you.
I am very honoured to be here with you today to talk together about our vision and future for Indi. If I could pick a game changer which would change the greatest and have the greatest difference and impact in Indi, it would be our connectivity. This is in relation to our connectedness of our towns, being able to work together and with each other, leverage off our strengths and complement one another, making our communities work more collaboratively and sharing resources, such as education and agriculture. By improving connectivity, we can further support education and youth engagement. It's fantastic to have our youth go off, study and experience the world, and develop global skills and mindfulness. But it's also important to re-engage them back within the communities and provide opportunities which allow them to bloom where planted. In Indi, our resources are extensive, but on a local scale, such as within our townships, they are limiting. If shared beyond those walls of our local communities and expanded to our neighbouring communities, opportunities expand for supporting youth re-engagement and also supporting the growth and development of townships within Indi and as Indi as a whole. I'm no mechanic, but together we are a car that drives a community, and we are all important parts within that car which allow us to reach our destination. By working together, sharing a voice and a vision, we can move forward. By taking the wheel and starting, we create momentum. And momentum leads to movement. Thank you.
So, do you have a sense of pride? Do you have a sense of confidence? Do you have a sense of, aren't we the luckiest community? So thank you. Perhaps another round of applause. So over the last 3 months that we've been doing this consultation, over 1,600 people have been involved. The main issues that came up as part of that was transport. 20% said that's the main issue in Indi. 19% telecommunications was a major issue. Then we come into health, and a lot of them must say about mental health there as well, environment and climate change, and then moving down to the issue of asylum seekers and immigration. And I want to thank the people who have been involved, but to say it is just the beginning. The next stage is taking that content and moving it on to action. I'd like to say that this process of community engagement, I believe, is really working. People are referring to the Indi way. And my colleagues in Parliament ask, well, how do you do it? You know, how do you get people to have conversations? Yeah, well, it's a trick, really. You know, you've got to want it. So that's the Indi way. It's not playing party politics. It's not looking for special handouts. It's not looking for cargo. It's actually about the community coming together. So things are happening and the money is flowing into Indi. And I don't think we're disadvantaged because we've got an independent. Some of the things that I'm doing in my job is being a strong voice for Indi. I've made over 86 individual speeches talking about some of the wonderful things that have happened here. Indi speeches. I've spoken on 47 different bits of legislation or adjournment debates, and I've asked 28 questions without notice during question time. And as it says in the report, we expect a lot of our politicians, and I say rightly so. And it's fascinating when you read the words in the report, that idea of representation. The job is to be a representative, it's not to be that voice. It's to represent the voices. And so bringing my talk to a close, I just want to talk about what next. What do we want to do in the next period of time? If we were going to do one thing and do it really well, what would it be that we do? So that's our next step, to get the priorities organised and to get the actions organised. And that's what the summit on Saturday the 24th of October is about. It's going to be in Benalla at the Performing Arts Centre, and it's open to everybody. As Jackie said in her really inspiring speech, it's all about starting, and it's about getting the momentum. So we've started. Now let's get the momentum organised. Thank you.